So the game should start relatively soon between Fox Armada and Divergent Fate. It seems there was a bit of a miscommunication about the hours, and actually Decision Makers is playing Blitz instead instead of joining the game, but he's online, so all the players are online. They should just join the team relatively soon. We're just missing one player right now, so yeah. Okay, we have all the members ready, so the game should be starting momentarily. So Fox Armada versus Divergent Fate. On the side of Fox Armada, we have Vaxed, Caps MVP, and It's Enchanter. On the side of Divergent Fate, we have I'm Just Attic, Crocabulia, and Decision Makers. Figuring out voice channels, so hold on a second. Any moment now. Should get into the draft for this other semifinal of the double elimination tournament from Online Champion in 2019. There's actually another 3 vs 3 tournament in Online Champion that just started a couple days ago. So it's a bit of a mess to figure out what is what, but this one is the double elimination champion cup. So this is for the second semifinal between Fox Armada, Fox Armada, and Divergent Fate. Apparently people are ready to start, so we should be able to get into the draft soon. Finding a match for your party. And we're off. Into the Halcyon Fold. Fox Armada on the blue side. And Divergent Fate on the red side. So we have for bans, seems that the Churnwalker will be banned for the side of the blue team. The red team is considering banning Baron getting picked up. Baron's so strong right now on this current meta. I'm gonna do my homework and put on the names of the heroes on the shoutcasting tool, so I know the names of all the thingies properly, all the skills, and stop calling wrong things their name. The only problem with that theory is that sometimes people like to pick new heroes, and not all the new heroes are on the casting tool. Hopefully Grumpjaw, Baron, Lorelei, and Grace are, which is really helpful. Decision Makers is trolling the stream with a saw pick. Enchanter deciding on the support role. They ends up picking the Lyra. Lyra is in a weird place. I wonder if does her ultimate arcane passage is also extended on 3 vs 3? You could pretty much go from the Kraken all the way to the enemy base right now, I think. Which would be quite interesting for backdoors, if you think about it. I never seen that been used on 3 versus 3 since the 4.0 update, that is. So curious if we'll see some of that today. So we go, Vaxxed on the Baron, Caps MVP on that Grumpjaw. It's Enchanter on the Lyra versus Decision Makers on the Grace, Crocobulia on the Lorelei, and Ethic on the Ringo. I'm curious if this will be a CP Ringo or a CP Grace, or if they're just gonna go double weapon. Excuse me. Excuse me while I like clear my throat. Ahem. Test 1 and 2. Caps MVP starting with that banner. And Crocobulia starting. Oh, okay. So Crocobulia is probably playing Jungle Lorelei. And Decision Makers will actually be the support. That's a possibility. Or just their early game itemizations is weird. That could also be true. So let's see. Let's wait a little while longer and see what they do. Well, Decision Makers missed that farm there. So that's a bad omen. Got that one though. Lyra's gonna go up and meet her. Hello, how you doing? Here, have some hits. Slow you down a little bit and stuff. Meanwhile, we have a 3 versus 3 contest of the Barrier Treant in the middle. And I have no clue who got it. I think it was Lorelei. Got that last hit. Fortunately, we don't see the historic of the middle Treant hits. Can only see the animation of the thing flying out. Vaxxed might do a little jump over the Kraken pit there. Punish I'm Just Attic on that Ringo. Forced him to miss a little farm there. I missed another farm. Attic is tilted. Max seems to be... I was about to say he seems to be farming okay, and he just missed that one. This Enchanter healing himself. Always important. Making sure no minion goes to waste when his carry is not there. They are doing double farming, so they get a level up faster. Here comes Vaxxed again, using the jump jets. Trying to get a double basic attack hit on some of those heroes. Ends up just farming instead. Caps MVP. Sneaky lurk there. Ends up getting fish fooded on his ankles. Decision Maker wants to start to engage, but that Grumpjaw dissuades them. And Ethic is dangerously low, he needs to be careful. I think he even popped his flask. And Grumpjaw is recalling. Starting work on his Storm Crown. Few more Porcupine Mortars from Vaxxed. Jump Jet, trying to punish Attic, but he's not doing as much damage as he wished he was. Let's follow Lyra for a little bit while Ringo recalls. Actually, he didn't recall. He went to double farm with his mate, Crocobulia. I guess they're going for a hyper carry build on Ethic here on this Ringo. Might be a bit risky. He's a bit too squishy. Oh. But they're betting on Grace and Waterwall from Lorelei to keep Ethic alive. And Grace's Divine Intervention. This is where the Vainglory shoutcasting tools come in handy. Meanwhile, Grumpjaw got another mid-treant, I believe, just before the shop started. Just hit level 6, managed to eat that Grace. She's in a bad position now. Gonna show up underneath the turrets, trying to get away. Not enough speed there. Tried to use her A, the Benediction, to get away, but just failed. Vax rotating once again to get those levels up. They want to do a hyper carry build as well, but around Baron it seems. Grumpjaw is very good with crowd control. He's so tanky, he applies those slows. He has that ultimate that lets you just eat one of the enemies temporarily. A lot of things in his kit, and he's so meta right now. Everybody seems to be playing Grumpjaw. He's even getting more bans on 5 versus 5. Oh, missed there. But Ethic dangerously low. Water Wall keeps him alive. Here comes the ultimate. The Hellfire Brew. Chunking down some health from Vaxed. But Imperial Sigil kills him right back up. Kabulia trying to do some poke damage. Meanwhile, Grace recalled back home to get herself a fountain, and Ringo just got himself eaten. Ooh, fountain came in right in just the right time. Holy Nova now catching Grump Offshaw. Nice turnaround for the side of Divergent Fate there. Seemed to be in a bad place and suddenly managed to turn that around. Fish food not quite connecting. Here comes another benediction. Have a vision there that they're not clearing. Crocobulio takes the opportunity to lay out a little fish food. This enchanter is forced to go to safety. Camera laid out. Get some vision. Rotation to shop. Baron's gonna get himself a nice Sorrow Blade. Wormjaw finished his Storm Crown meanwhile. And some boots. Which is quite useful if you want to engage and disengage quickly. Lyra also has some War Treads, so they're really going for team mobility here to help that Baron either get away or get into the fray. Ooh, jump chat's not quite working there. Gets fished food. Very badly played from Vax there. Luckily he managed to survive. Recalls back home. This will give some opportunity for Divergent Fate to put down some pressure on this turret. That Imperial Sigil will not be the dissuader here. Meanwhile, on the side of Divergent Fate, here comes the ultimate from Baron. Not really connecting. The side of Divergent Fate, we have Ethic with the Sorrow Blade. Crocobulia going for a more support role with that Rook's Decree there. And you see the Fountain on the side of Grace. She's probably also gonna get Natlas Paldrum at some point to lower the attack speed of the opponent team. But yeah, both teams seem to be doing a very hyper carry sort of builds here, focusing on their main lane hero to carry the game. So this is pretty much a match of who can kill the laner first when it comes to a team fight. If it's Baron or Ringo that dies first. And I think Baron has a little bit more mobility than Ringo does, so I'm putting my money on Baron being safer than Ringo. But let's see how these teams play their compositions. Comes the Hellfire Brew, chunking down Vaxed a little bit more. Caps is forced to rotate away. Decision Maker's placing himself for another benediction. Nope, just laning as usual. Nothing happening here. Bit of a rush, trying to get some good positioning to take out this turret before the rotation comes back around. Attic is here now. Fish food not quite connecting on that Baron. It's really one of the main problems of that Baron is going to be the fish food. If he gets rooted down on that fish food, it's just sitting duck for Ringo to finish him off. Or for decision makers to lay a Holy Nova on him and stun him further. And you can't do damage if you're stunned. It's pretty much universal law. Fox Armada trying to do some damage. Caps APM losing those stacks. Getting dangerously low, forced to go back. Even uses his A to get away. The grumpy skill. But Lyra is there to heal them back up. Fish food connecting onto Vax, going dangerously low. Forced to pop the flask. Now tries to chunk down Attic. Here comes the divine intervention, keeping Attic alive. He steps back for a little while, sends out an Hellfire Brew, and suddenly they have the upper hand. Vax forced to jump jet away and just succumbs to Attic there. So divine intervention on just the right time. He was dangerously low and with mortal wounds on top of him. And if your main carry stays alive, you usually win the team fight. That's usually how it goes. So good engage from Divergent Fate there. Still early in game, only 10 minutes in. Baron already laying down some basic attack crits of 900 damage. He only has 2 items in. Sorrow Blade and the Tension Bow. Attic blazingly fast. Got himself a Bone Saw. I would have probably done a Breaking Point on him instead of a Bone Saw. Because the current meta, you don't really see people doing armor anyways. Oh, nice fish food catching that Baron off guard. And this is what I was talking about. You need to be very careful with that fish food. Either you crucible it away, or you're just dead. Another fish food trying to catch someone off guard. Now it's instance. Its enchanter was on the wrong side of the map, but just used his arcane passage to reposition himself. Grumpch overextends though and dies, and also its enchanter will die as well. It's an ace for the side of Divine Fate, which will allow them to do this jungle rotation, get the Crystal Sentry, and reminder that the Crystal Sentry does give you an extra attack and defense boost to whoever gets it. Crocobulia with those fish foods really making some difference. And he's not just defensive, he has Spellfire on it, and he has the Storm Banner as well, so he actually does some damage. And the Clockwork to be able to launch as many as possible. The Kraken has awakened on the Alcyon Fold. Its enchanter overextended, just dies, melts completely to that twirling silver attack of Attic. Attic doesn't even want to do the Kraken. He wants to 1 versus 2. And it seems to be fine. The rest of his team can do the Kraken for him. He even has the buff from the Crystal Sentry, I believe. That's the yellow aura that just disappeared now. So suddenly Divergent Fate clearly in the lead. Whenever one of the members from Fox Armada overextends, they get paid very strongly. And it's mostly because of that fish food. Whenever someone gets caught in the fish food, he's just dead. So get those crucibles ready. You're gonna need them right now. They managed to dodge the fish food. Hellfire Brew chunking down on Vax, but they're doing some damage to this Kraken. The other fish food catches off Lyra. She's forced to use the arcane passage to go to the base. Somehow misses and ends up dying. I don't know what hell Vax is going. He's going to position himself for another fish food and almost dies himself. Mortal wounded away. Decision Maker wants to commit suicide because that's just how Grace rolls. And now Attic just building up those hits. They don't want to finish the game though. It's too early to finish the game. They're having fun. They want to push this longer. Get another Crystal Sentry. Those fish foods so deadly. Attic got himself a Tyrant's Monocle, so he's just hitting like a truck. He just got himself another Tyrant's Monocle. So Sorrow Blade, Bone Saw, and 2 Tyrant's Monocle. It just chunks away at your health at a ridiculous speed. And this Baron with only 3 items won't be able to... Is that a tornado trigger? I think it's even only 2 items. No, it's 3. Okay, the tornado trigger. I mean, if you're doing tornado trigger, might as well have done poison shiv. At least he would have applied mortal wounds, in my humble opinion. But, okay. We'll see how that works out for him. Caps MVP suffering a little bit here. So, considering recalling back home. Waiting for the fire damage to end. All teams seems to be recalling right now. And the second Kraken should be spawning relatively soon. Caps MVP wants to overextend there. He starts to get chunked down. Water wall, a huge barrier on Attic there. Allows him to keep firing away. Gets eaten up, but doesn't matter. Here comes the Divine Intermission, keeping Attic alive just a little while longer. And this Lyra is pretty much dead. An ace and probably GG right now. Attic is cleaning house. He doesn't want to finish the game right away. Wants to make sure that the lane is clear before he shatters the Vein Crystal. A nice first game. Divergent Fate very dominant on this first game against Fox Armada. Congratulations. And we're going to switch sides and see how the side of Fox Armada does to come back on this series. Should probably show this. Don't know if I refresh, it will show already first game. Not yet. So yeah, 1-0 for... 1-0 for... Why is my camera stuck? I don't know. Let's try to unstuck her. There we go. Now it's working. 1-0 for Divine Fate. Let's switch sides and play the next tournament. I'm gonna change the names of the teams as well while we wait. Names are changed. They're about to get ready. I think they have changed size already. Yeah, so they should be going into the draft relatively soon. The chat is also not working very well. Something wrong here. But let's not care about that right now. Because we are in the draft for the second game of the series. Ban on Grace for the side of Divine Fate, or Divergent Fate. Why did I call him Divine Fate now? I said Grace and I thought Divine immediately. A ban on Churnwalker on the side of Fox Armada. The usual ban for the support role. Seems everyone wants Lorelei. Reprise on that Lorelei, and she was playing very well. She was one of the main reasons they won that match, was those fish foods connecting so well. You really would have expected better crucibles coming out from the side of its Enchanter. In this case, was playing the support role. Celeste getting picked up from Vaxed. Very squishy character. Needs to be careful. Caps is gonna pair Celeste up with her father, Arden. Which is pretty good. His Vanguard gives a nice barrier as well. So almost equiparable to a Lorelei. Need to do a few items before it really comes online though. Kokobulia picking up Ringo, probably for Etic. And they try to decide on their jungler or their support. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Seems it's a Reza. It's a very strong composition, but they're a bit squishy, so you need to be careful there. But I mean, against Celeste, Reza can usually do a lot of damage. Arden will need to be on point there. Meanwhile, Fox Armada decide to go for the glaive to round up the composition. And I wonder if they were going to swap roles. That glaive Vax playing in the jungle now, or if the glaive is going to be lane and the jungle Celeste. It can be a jungle Celeste as well. It's not completely unheard of. I do like the glaive pick, but I don't know how well he will fare here. He does pair well with Arden though. Do throw an afterburn of someone into the gauntlet of Arden, for example. Or to chain up some CC with the core collapse of Celeste. So we'll have to see. And the only CC that the enemy team has will come from Decision Maker on this Lorelei, which is pretty much the fish food and the slow that she does with her splashdowns. We'll have to see how this game evolves. For now, we're only on the first minute. So not much to see. Just waiting for the usual laning phase. The usual predictions. Let me know on the chat what you guys think. Who you think is gonna win. If you have a favorite in terms of draft and in terms of team play. By all means, don't let me wait alone. Don't let me wait talking alone for 5 minutes until the game finally gets interesting. Right now they're only doing a team fight for this Kraken. It seems that Reza got it. They might try to go for a first blood. Nope. Red team decides to back away. Lick their wounds. Go back to base. Maybe buy something. Pair of boots. Enchanter with those blood for bloods. Just being annoying. And indeed, it seems that Team Fox Armada decided to swap the laner with the jungler. Vax was playing lane on the previous matchup, and now it's Caps MVP who is at the lane. Seems to be doing alright so far. The Fishwood almost connecting there, and he managed to get away. Comes the rotation from Vax. We'll try to get afterburn onto someone. Can he get? Oh, he hits Lorelei by mistake. I think he was meaning to get the Ringo. Now it's Enchanter that needs to be careful. Fish food connecting there onto Glaive. He's forced to pop the flask. Rockabilly overextends. Trying to get a kill. Not quite finishing off. Decision Maker needs to be careful. But Etic doesn't care. Etic, no fear, just fight. Seems to be putting down some good pressure on this lane early on. Meanwhile, we have another skirmish here. This Glaive almost survives. The Vanguard keeps him alive. Well played from its Enchanter. Crocabilia still sneaking there, but misses. Took a little bit too long. And now it's Enchanter that's in trouble. Is forced to pop the boots to avoid a fish food. And I was trying to bait someone from... Oh, and Etic so low! And Caps MVP is not able to finish him off. He was a bit scared. Now it's the Glaive that wants a piece of Etic and does get him. Well played, afterburn, well placed there. They decide to go for the barrier tree ant. Will Divergent Fate try to contest it? They're a bit too low for that. Vax does get the tree ant. I would have afterburned in and try to get another kill here. But Vax wants to play it safe. It's in his right to do so. Caps MVP did a nice push on this lane, forcing Etic to farm under the turret. See. Not much happening right now. The shop will open soon in the middle of the map. We have a little bit of a skirmish here. Jungle has intensified on the Halcyon Fold. Vax just cleaning up vision. Trying to catch someone to do an afterburn on, but he's afraid of Reza. As well as he should be. Reza has that Storm Banner and some crystal bits. Now we have an engage between Vaxed and Crocobulia here. The ultimate from Reza coming through, and Vaxed uses the afterburn defensively. Still tries to hit Crocobulia, but misses, or times out. The Vanguard comes to save him right on time. The Crystal Sentry gets a piece of it. The ultimate from Celeste not quite connecting on Crocobulia. Well played there. And now Ethic is completely on the wrong side of the jungle there. Crocobulia wants to get a piece of Celeste. That Hellfire Brew catching 2 people. And Caps MVP is dangerously low. He needs to be very careful here. Ethic is definitely playing a bit courageously. Let's call it that. Let's call it courageously. He's in a very no fear, just fight mindset. It's been working out for him. It worked very well for him on the first game. So, I mean, if it works, why change it? Caps MVP manages to get all of his farm under the turret. Well done. Exploding those Iliogenesis there. Decision makers try to stall this lane a little bit more, waiting for Ethic to farm up. And looking at builds right now, you can see Lorelei with the Crucible. Reza with a Shatter Glass, not going for the usual Aftershock. Wants to do pure damage burst. And only level 1 boots. I would expect him to get level 2 boots, but I guess he doesn't have the money just yet. Ringo went for Sorrow Blade, now just got himself a Reflex block. You can see Glaive started off with the Serpent's Mask. Wondering what he's gonna go with next. Probably Breaking Point, I guess. Try to get some sustain on him. The main problem with this Glaive is gonna be all the slows that he gets from Lorelei. And the burst damage that he's gonna take from that Reza. So he really needs a Slumbering Husk early on, in my opinion. Let's see if he goes for that or not. He already has some Crystal Defense. Ooh, Crocobulia trying to steal that. Oh! Crocobulia just dancing with the wall there. Back and forth, trying to steal something. Oh, and now it's Eddic that's caught off guard. He's popped his Reflex block, trying to stay alive. Vax dangerously low. Hellfire Brew tries to finish him off. I think he will manage to survive though. While the rest of the team trades in the middle. Here comes the Solar Storm. Connecting just slightly. Grazing off Eddic, not really finishing him off. I would expect a Blood from Blood to its Enchanter to finish him off, but it doesn't seem to come through. A Vanguard comes through instead. They're playing very defensively. They do have some small lead. Vax trying to do afterburn here. Might catch decision makers off, but misses that Blood Song there. And now it's Enchanter that needs to be careful. If he gets caught in that twirling silver madness of Ethic, it's gonna be easy bait. Oh, the vision there. Forcing Enchanter to use his boots to get away from the range of Eddic. Eddic's starting to do too much damage. And it doesn't even have stacks. It just has Sorrow Blade. But just the slow that he puts his enemies under whenever he's attacking is just enough to be so annoying. If you want to kill a Ringo, you need to engage him, not to go away from him. If you're going away from a Ringo, you're pretty much dead. Enchanter wants to clean out some vision. Gets a Scorcher on his ass as a reward. Gets another Scorcher on his ass. Some more reward. Isn't your ass warm enough, Enchanter? You should be a little bit more careful now. No, he gets a third Enchanter on his ass. Come on. Don't stay on that side of the bush. It's not worth it. Now it's Celeste that wanted a Scorcher, but she managed to dodge it. Dodged it again. Very well. So no Scorchers on Celeste's ass. Only on Arden. Her daddy is taking all the Scorchers for her, apparently. Vax just farming his jungle as usual. Still only on one attack item so far. That Serpent's Mask has been too busy doing some defensive itemizations and proper boots to get his second item online. Reza seems a bit closer. He already has a very strong Shatter Glass and a few crystal bits, which do make a bit of a difference. And Attic seems to be going for the Bone Saw that he was using on the previous game as well. Seemed to work pretty well for him previous game, so should work as well this game. Oh, Afterburn not quite connecting as well as would be hoped for. Fish Food connecting onto that Celeste there. But no follow-up from the rest of the team. Fox Armada holding their ground a lot better on this game than on the previous match. But still, I see the advantage on Divergent Fate's side. Attic actually finished the Tension Bow instead of the Bone Saw, which is curious. I'm guessing Glaive is working towards a breaking point. And Celeste got the Spellfire and Clockwork on. Ooh, manages to dodge that Fish Food. And that pretty much kept her alive. That small dodge made all the difference. Here comes the Hellfire Brew to finish her off. The Fountain gets popped to keep her alive. Vaxed is scorched himself from this Reza. Ooh, nice ultimate into the middle of 3 people. Misses the dash on everyone though. So that's pretty much no kills. He tries to get another kill onto Caps MVP, but the Vanguard from its Enchanter kept him alive. And Attic finished him off with a water wall to protect him against this turret. Vanguard, but the Crucible is there to let Attic kite away from that gauntlet. And it's the Glaive that gets caught out. Nice turnaround there. A lot of pressure from Divergent Fate. Finally getting 2 turrets in a fell swoop, giving them a clear advantage of 5k gold. Second item is online for Reza as well. It's a Spellfire, as you can see. And Glaive still lagging behind in terms of builds. Celeste got herself some Alcyon Charger boots to mend all the energy problems she might ever have, which is a problem that Attic doesn't have to face with his weapon build. Comes Vaxed, double thinking if he should afterburn or not. Ends up not doing. Crocobulio well positioned there for a well-placed Scorcher and offensive. But seems that Fox Armada isn't going to fall for it. They need to play careful. They already lost the first game. They can't afford to lose the second one. This is a best of 3 after all. Whoever wins this game, or actually if Divergent Fate win this game, they'll go on and moving to the finals. Up against what was the team? What was the other team? We just watched the game from them before. Deminox? I don't remember the name of the team anymore. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'll check it real quick. Against Dimaxion. That's the name of the team. I apologize, Dimaxion, for forgetting her name. If they win, they will go face Dimaxion. If they lose, we will have a third game. And whoever loses this series will go to the losers bracket. Arden biting more than he can chew. Etik is starting to do way too much damage. Someone needs an Atlas Pauldrum. Nice afterburn there, but unfortunately will not be enough because Celeste is not well positioned enough. The Solar Storm hits everyone, but just not doing enough damage. Even the Crystal Sentry is there trying to help them out, but Divergent Fate just doing way too much damage. A lot more than comes from the side of Fox Armada here. Etik overextending. He's forced to back out. Did have the buff from the Crystal Sentry though. And they will start a Kraken now. Fish Food helping it go along a little bit faster. Caps MVP on that Celeste is trying to get Broken Myth online. Here comes the Solar Storm trying to steal this Kraken, but sadly not well enough. Good attempt though. And that Celeste did not max her B ability. She went for the A and the ultimate instead, which will cause her some problems in terms of energy, but she does have the Alcyon charger, so she should be fine. Fox Armada with a little time to do some extra poke damage on the Kraken here before the rest of the team shows up. Here comes Crocaboulia trying to get Scorcher onto someone, not quite connecting, just hitting that turret. Kraken's already halfway through. Fish Food missing. So this should be an easy Kraken to defend for the side of Fox Armada. The game will last a little bit longer. Team Divergent Fate taking their sweet time. Don't want to overextend here. Only 5 kills in the game so far. That's how close the match has been. Still Divergent Fate clearly in the lead, in my humble opinion. They might have a sneaky play here, catching Glaive. I was gonna say he was gonna use his afterburn, but he didn't. The Vanguard kept him there. Etik is very badly positioned. Fortunately for Fox Armada, they don't notice. Its Enchanter so slowed down in that water pool, not really able to do anything. All the pressure from Divergent Fate on this enemy jungle. They are 6k gold ahead. Crocaboulia pushing up this lane a little bit more. He might be overextending, but no afterburn comes from the side of Glaive. They don't know that Etik is nowhere near, so they don't risk the engage there. Glaive finally got himself the breaking point. Now he's looking to get some critical damage to finish his build. And he doesn't even have Slumbering Husk yet, so he's a very easy prey for that Reza. A Reza that has finished his defensive itemization already, has that Aegis online to give him some extra defense against Celeste. Both teams position themselves for the Kraken fight. Vox a little bit, or Vax a little bit overextended, gets scorched down. The Hellfire Brew coming into Vaps. Nice Vanguard there, avoiding the Fish Food. Caps is going to get that healer to get his health back in check. That was a weird afterburn. He tried to get someone out of position, but the rest of the team was not doing the follow-up. Reza is there doing a cleanup duty. He goes low, but he has the water wall from Lorelei to keep him safe. And that was a very clean ace for the side of Divine Fate. Gonna finish up this sentry and probably finish up this game. Waiting for Etik to show up. Are you ready to do this turret? Let's go! 760 critical damage, 486 critical damage. 9 seconds on the clock, and this team has no chance anymore. So congratulations to Divergent Fate. They move on to the finals of a double elimination cup of online champion 3 versus 3 tournament that we've been covering on this live stream. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. A little bit of a taunt there from Arden in the end. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. We're gonna try to raid someone, I guess, before we call it a day. We will be back either tomorrow or the day after that for the final. Let me take a look. The final is on the 27th, so the day after tomorrow, also on Wednesday. Unfortunately, I won't be available on Wednesday, so I probably won't be able to cover the final. But I should be able to cover the grand final, which will be on the 1st of March. So let's see. Stay tuned on the Discord, and we'll see how things evolved. Meanwhile, let's see who is streaming and try to raid them. Let's see. We have Hondor streaming. I guess we can raid Hondor. So have a little old lady streaming. Let's raid Hondor. I don't think I ever raided him before. So that should be nice. Hold on. Set up the raid. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Bye bye. Take care.